count mine. You know. Ask me what I'm doing, just grinding. Haters wanna hate, let them hate, never mind them. Be more bins, tryna reach the next plateau. And I can't stop till I achieve my goals. Keep a couple feet inside the photos. So official with the vibe, you can kick up my zone. Hold on for a minute, let me count mine. You know.
Good YouTube, it's your boy Damion Crier, and I am back with another video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, blessed, and amazing day today. Listen, I guess I'm gonna tell you guys just how I'm doing today, man, because I'm not gonna say I'm doing all right, but I do feel truly blessed. But I'm gonna say this, man, if you have not subscribed to the Crier family, all you have to do is turn that bell on so you subscribe to the channel. But being subscribed to the channel only means you are subscribed. In order to get the notifications every time I drop a video on the Crier family, you must turn on that bell with the vibrating symbol. That way, every time I upload a video on the Crier family, all of you guys will get the notifications, man. Yes, y'all see I'm wearing my Mr. Crybaby shirt. This was a joke. I bought this shirt like a year and a half ago, just as a joke, because in some videos that was made about me, this guy, he used to always be like, Mr. Crybaby, Mr. Crybaby. Turned out the guy, he's an okay guy, man. So for me to be sarcastic, I end up going out and getting a few of these shirts made called Mr. Crybaby, and I wore them in the video, and he seen the video, and when he seen it, he just fell out laughing like, oh my God, that's what I be calling him. So that's the history of this shirt. I wanted to tell you guys that in case y'all was like, why are you wearing a shirt to say Mr. Crybaby on it? So anyway, guys, as you all know, I recently went to Indiana to visit my son Damion. Now, sad to say, I haven't been to Indiana to see Damion since November. You know, when I went down there to see Damion and my granddaughter Tinker. And, you know, it's been a few months since I've been down there, and it's been weighing on me so hard to go down there and see Damion. And it really hurts me, you know, sometimes because I'm so far away from him. And I'm not going to lie, it was really hard for me to even move out of Fort Wayne because of him. You know, when I lost Deontay, you know, I felt like that I lost my whole world. I felt like that I lost everything, you know, when I lost my son, because, you know, losing a child, man, is just insane, man. You know, it's something that you never get over. You could get over a girlfriend breaking up with you. You can get over losing a boyfriend. You can get over losing your home. You can get over having your car repoed. You can get over losing your job, because all those things I just named, you can get all those back. You get every one of those things back that I just named off. But what you can't get back is life, man. And that's the reason why I'm making this video, because last night I almost lost my life. But I want to talk about Damion for a second while we're on the topic of my son Damion. You know, I actually shortened my own visit up when I went to get Damion because I miscommunicated. I had miscommunicated. You guys know all the crazy stuff that happened on the internet a few months ago. You know, and I was going to make videos and stuff, dropping videos, talking crazy or whatever, and stuff like that. And so with that being said, there was only, you know, communication with me and Damion, and I know that Damion feels some type of way about the particular video that I had made. And I'm not going to go into details, but I will be removing that video from off of my channel because it shouldn't be up anymore. But it's like, you know, I had to talk to him and apologize to him about a video I had made, and he was really crushed by it. But Damion was also crushed by several other events that had taken place. And, you know, I had, you know, never really went down there to see him, which I should have immediately went down there to see him. But let's just say my visit got cut short going to Fort Wayne because, one, I texted Damion and said, hey, I'm coming to Indiana this day. Let your mom and them know that I'm coming down and I'm going to get you. And Damion said, okay, Dad. And then the next day, I text Damion. I said, hey, listen, I'm a few hours away from Fort Wayne. Let your mom and them know that I'm coming down to get you. He said, okay, Dad. So when I actually got almost to the city, I called Damion, and he was asleep, obviously, because I got there at weird times of the morning or whatever and checked into my hotel. So later on, I got upset because Damion didn't text me back. But what I didn't realize was the time change. You know, just because I just came off the highway. Didn't mean everybody was woke and up and around and moving around. And being that it was his first official day out of school for spring break, the day that I got there was his first official day. So obviously he stayed up late, you know, playing his PS5 and stuff and kicking it with family. And I was just naive to the fact that my own selfish thoughts, like, wow, he didn't even tell nobody I was coming. So what ended up happening was I found out that Damion had miscommunicated that I was coming down to see him. He thought that I had said the weekend, because that's normally when I would go on the weekend when I know that he's out of school and stuff. So basically what I'm saying is sometimes we can miscommunicate with people and have the wrong thought. And my thought process was anger, because I said to myself, you know, it's some BS going on. I'm upset. People playing games with me, and come to find out there was nothing like that going on. It was strictly a miscommunication on my fault, on my part, and I had apologized to Damion and all parties involved, because you can't just communicate with a minor child and tell them that you're finna pull up and pick them up, not knowing what the plans are. And I know if it was me and if I had full custody of Damion and somebody just texted him and said I'm finna pull up, I'm gonna be like, what? Without communicating with me. So I ended up dropping the ball on that. But on to other things. While I was in Indiana, we had a really great time. Again, it was a very short-lived vacation. Visit. Damion didn't care about anything but just spending time with me. That's it. I mean, he just really cared about spending time with me. And, you know, I was so happy, because even though he knew that I couldn't stay very long, you know, he just appreciated the fact that I came down there, spent time with him, and we kind of balled everything up into like a short period. As far as like, it was raining. It was like 40 degrees outside. We didn't even care. All he did was just want to go fishing. You promised me that you was going to take me fishing, Dad, when you come down here. And we knew it was raining that morning when we got up. We knew it was cold out there. We knew it was nasty and muddy. We didn't even care, guys. We went out there, and just seeing the joy in his face literally brought tears to my eyes. And a lot of things that me and Damion talked about and shared while I was in Indiana really had me teary-eyed, because it's like, I feel like, you know, that I failed him in so many ways, and it really hurts my heart knowing that as a dad, you know, I failed him, and then I'm so far away that I'm not there to see his pain when he's going through pain and when he wants to talk to me, you know. So I feel like that I just felt really miserable. But at the same time, even though I shared a tear or two, we still had a really nice time together. We spent time in the hotel talking. We did shoot a couple videos. Obviously, that's what I do. I'm a YouTuber, so I do shoot videos, and I do it to create memories. Well, I do it to make money too, and I also do it to create memories with my kids and stuff like that, because you never know when it's going to be your last day. Speaking of your last day, on the way home from Indiana last night, I almost met my maker. You know, I don't know, like, what happened, man. I'm going to tell you guys the story, and I can't explain it. All I can do is do the best explaining to you guys that I possibly know how. Basically, when I left Indiana, I didn't tell anyone. You know, I told one of my relatives, because I stopped. Obviously, Darian's moms live close to one of my relatives, and so it was convenient for me to stop by and say hi or whatever. And so when I left Indiana, I didn't tell nobody. I didn't call nobody and say, yo, I'm on my way back to Houston. You know, I make my own moves, so I don't really tell everything that I'm doing when I'm doing it, because sometimes that's not a really good idea. But I didn't call and say, yo, hey, I'm on my way back. I didn't call none of my kids or nobody, Damion or nobody, to say, hey, yo, I'm on a highway. I need to talk, keep me woke. They just assumed that I was still in Indiana. You know, and even right now this morning, they assumed that I was still in Indiana, which I'm not. I actually made it back here at like 3-4 o'clock this morning to my house. And I didn't really sleep too well. But while I was driving, my trip went fine. Everything was smooth. And I was coming, I might have been like, oh my God, maybe 9 hours away from Houston, because it is an 18-hour, well, it's actually 17-hour. I say 18-hour because you got to stop and get gas, use the restroom, boo-boo, pee-pee, all that good stuff. But it's, you know, So I get like 8.5, 9 hours from Houston, and it's dark outside, and it's raining. I turned my windshield wipers on. And I like I said, I don't even know how to describe this, man. Apparently, I must have dozed off the first time. Yeah, I said the first time because it happened again. I dozed off and didn't even realize I fell asleep. As I dozed off, I was on this straight road. I know that it was one stretch that said I had like 147 miles until my next exit. So it was a straight road, really dark, really dark road. And as I was driving, all I remember was hearing a lot of noise. Trucks blowing, semi-trucks blowing. And, you know, I didn't even know I fell asleep. I woke up and I was like all over the road. And you got these semi-trucks that's behind me, like slowing down, hitting their flashers. And it was me. I dozed off behind the steering wheel, man. I fell asleep. I mean, I fell asleep. I fell asleep behind a freaking steering wheel. Didn't even realize it. So I hurried up and composed myself. I got like another mile, maybe 2 miles up the road, pulled over at a truck stop, got out the truck, walked around in the rain and let the rain hit me in the face and composed myself. And I really thanked my lucky stars that I was still alive. I really had to thank my lucky stars I was still alive. So I stood outside for a few minutes in the rain, drenched and soaking wet, and you know, just thinking like, oh my God. And I kept looking at my my phone, at the time of my phone, thinking to myself, should I go ahead and just stop right now? Should I just stop right now and get a hotel? Or should I just pull on over into the truck stop in one of those parking lots and just go to sleep in my truck for a good 30, 40 minutes? They call it a power nap. Me thinking, no, I'm fine. I convinced myself that I was good to drive. I get back in the truck. Start driving down the highway. I'm fine. I roll this window down and my passenger window down, so I got cold air hitting me, a little rain's coming in, hit me in the face, just not much, but just a little bit to try to keep me woke. And I will say I get like maybe 45 minutes to an hour into the trip of driving further down the road. And oh my God, man, I dozed off again. This time there was no horns. It was boomity boomity boom boom boomity boom boom boom. I had ran off the road into the grass. I just actually got my truck back just now. I took it to the detail shop. I ran the truck off the road. Thank God that it wasn't a ditch per se, like a ditch. It was like flat. I was all in the grass. Like 3 cars had stopped. 3 people literally stopped, jumped out their cars to come and help me to make sure I was okay. And it was like the most scariest moment of my life. So last night I came close to death twice. And it was like, you know, pushing myself really hard to get back home. And then with a lot of things that was on my mind that I had been thinking about that had took place while I was in Fort Wayne, as far as like communicating with my son, I just had so much stuff on my mind that I wasn't even focused, man. And you know, that just goes to tell you how fast life can change from one moment to the next. Like, you know, that would have been my last time seeing my son Damion. You know, it's just crazy, man. So to make a long story short, what I did was, after the ditch incident, running off the road, I end up, after I got my truck out, and it was like really hard to get out because it was really, the grass was really soaking wet, nasty and muddy. So my tires were spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. So I had to kind of go forward, reverse, kind of rock it out. And I finally got it out with the help of a few nice people who got soaking wet last night. And I mean, their cars were lined up on the side of the road with their hazard lights on just to help me out. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know, what if the truck would have flipped and it wouldn't have just been those cars on the side of the road with the hazard lights. It would have been first responder lights and probably yellow tape around it. So I was just thinking to myself, man, how fast life can change, you know, when you take life for granted. And, you know, I never even told my kids this, so they're probably going to see this in this video because they don't even know what happened. I'm supposed to text Darian and tell him, hey, I made it back okay. But I woke up, you know, like I said, I hardly really got a whole lot of sleep. But I woke up and I ended up getting myself ready. I unpacked all my luggage and stuff, and I ended up taking the truck to get it cleaned off. There was no damage to it. But yeah, guys, I wanted to just share that experience with you guys that I had last night. So don't take life for granted. Sometimes, like me, I'm the type of person, I push myself really, really hard. I do. Like when I'm determined, my kids always tell me, I never seen anybody who's dedicated the way that you are, Dad. I say, well, what do you mean? They say you would get in that car or that truck and you would drive down that highway 18 hours and then you would come back. I did it actually, guys. I drove to Indiana one time and did a turnaround and came back the same day. Well, I didn't make it back the same day, but I got there. I had an appointment that I couldn't miss, and I stayed for a few hours, and I didn't get any sleep. I turned around, I came right back, and it was awful, and I said I would never do anything like that again. But I am very determined. Like when I'm trying to get somewhere, I push myself harder, and I convince myself that, hey, I'm still young, I can still do this. But sometimes, man, your body does change, and when you get older, you just got to think differently. I know that I'm not young anymore. I can't do stuff that I used to do when I was younger, like staying up for 2 or 3 days, partying and all that stuff, which I don't party anyway. I don't even drink and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man. So other than that, my visit was fine. I was really happy to see Darian. He's gotten really tall. I will admit that once I talked to Darian and we got to talking about like his ball games and stuff that's going on in school, I did have a certain amount of guilt that just hit me because it's like, man, I'm not there for your games, you know, to see what's going on in school. And it's like sometimes I do second guess myself, like, did I make did I make the right decision by, you know, moving so far away like that? And it's like, man, because, you know, but talking to Darian, and me and him had this conversation yesterday. I said, you know, how do you feel with the distance and stuff? And he did tell me that he was okay with the distance because it gives him a place to come on vacation at when he's out of school for summer break. He just, you know, like he basically wants to see me more, basically, because when I moved down here, I promised I would go back and forth every 30 days. But as I got into a new life down here in Houston, you know, life caught up with me where, you know, I just got so caught up in doing stuff down here that I didn't start going back to Indiana every 30 days like I promised. But that's something that's going to change. I'm going to change that. I'm going to get back on my boss shit. I'm going to get back to my routine because last night was really a serious eye-opener for your boy, man. And I'm just grateful that I'm still here today. I'm very grateful that I'm able to be alive to make this video for you guys, to share with you guys my near death experience, because it was real. It's like they say that you only, you know, like a cat get 9 lives, right? Well, that's the same. A cat gets 9 lives. We get 1 chance, you know. But I felt like, you know, I got 2 chances last night because it could have been fatal the first time when I ran out in front of those trucks. And this is a small pickup truck. This is not a full-size pickup truck that I'm in. This is pretty much half of the one that I used to have. And it's like those semis trucks are full of thousands of pounds of material that they're taking to various places. And I just couldn't imagine one of those trucks hitting me and my family finding out, you know. I just don't know, man, what I would have did, like how my kids would have been, you know, being that we do have like a really close bond, you know. And I just couldn't see them knocking at my kid's door telling them that I had an accident and that I was no longer here, you know. So that's a lot to think about. But anyway, man, I just wanted to just share that with you guys. And most importantly, I want to let you guys know that I did make it back home safe, because I know a lot of people were like wondering if I made it back safe, you know, and stuff like that. Whenever I travel long distances like that, I know that it's easier to fly, and I don't mind flying, guys, but it's like every time I turn around and get off of an airplane, I end up watching the news the next day and I see this huge airplane crash or something. And that's not to scare anybody, but it's like, people are like, well, why don't you just fly to Indiana? It's easier. Park your car at the airport and fly over there 2-3 hours. And that's true. But when I think about, like, what if, I guess I'm a very superstitious person, man. You know, I'd rather just make that trip to Indiana driving. I will fly if I have to, like certain places that we do travel to on vacation. We do fly because it's extremely long distance and we have a lot of people with us. But for me right now, it's got to be driving, man. But maybe I will consider flying down there next time I go just to be safer, because I don't know why I dozed off like that. It's never happened before. And I'm thinking maybe because I pushed myself so hard even after I got off the highway, you know, and maybe I just didn't get enough rest or whatever the case was. But this is the first time that it's happened. I hope that it never happens again. Anyway, man, I want to say thank you guys for watching this video, man. I love you guys, man. Comment down below if you have ever fell asleep behind the steering wheel, or you ever had a loved one fall asleep behind the steering wheel. What was the end results of it? Did it happen again? Do you choose driving over flying when you go long distances? Or do you have the same fear that I have as far as like flying? Would you rather drive and stuff like that? But anyway, I love you guys, man. Thank you guys for watching this video. Until next time, it's your boy Damion Crier, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Peace.